But that's
There
good.
you go.
That's
Hello, everyone. It's Scotty T, and it's your comedy minute. And I have a fantastic comedian with me. I'm sorry, Patrick Keane. How's everything going?
good. 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 Thanks for having me. Good to be here. I'm in Jackson Hole right now visiting my sister. Traveling comedy, all of it, and happy to be alive.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Correct. Yes. Quick,
Um,
quick flight from Salt Lake.
weren't you in New York recently?
Yeah. Yeah. I split time between New York and Arizona. I have two brothers and my mom in Arizona, and then I have a place in New York.
Okay. You know what? I think I'm not sure. Um, are you booked? Are you going to Canada soon?
I hope so. I'm going back to the Comedy Cave in Calgary at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. I love that place.
Yeah. When did you start doing comedy?
I started late 2000. So I was in my late 20s, and I'm 25 years in now. And I was out of college. I tried the work world a couple of years, and I kind of always wanted to write comedy and wanted to write scripts. Loved movies from the 80s. And then I was like, "What's the quickest way to do this?" I just want to be a writer. I didn't want to get into stand up. I thought it was the
Okay.
hardest and the worst thing ever, and I was right about that. But I ended up giving it a try. And unfortunately for everybody, it never went bad enough to quit.
Okay, comedians that inspired you when you were younger and comedians you like now.
Well, I loved the show Seinfeld. That kind of hit right when I was leaving high school and college. I loved him. I loved Rodney Dangerfield. I loved Bill Murray. I loved the John Hughes movies, the John Landis movies, kind of like all those guys, Eddie Murphy, of course.
Right.
And, just kind of followed that and took that into stand up a little bit, not realizing that times would change and that being a kind of a doofus into your 30s, 40s, and now early 50s, that it's not very becoming. But when you're raised on those movies, Caddyshack, you're like, oh look, it's cute, it's adorable to be kind of a slacker.
What
For
about what about comedians that you like now? In other words,
comedians I
comedians that
like now,
inspired you
I like the big ones. I like Louis C.K. and Bill Burr and Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and Eddie Pepitone's a favorite,
Eddie
and Zach
Pepitone's great.
Galifianakis. Yeah,
Right. Um, when you started out, was was the goal to become the next Eddie Pepitone, or was it just to like open mics and to try it?
that's a great question. When I started, I thought I could be like, because I grew up in Southern California in Orange County. I thought I could be like the West Coast, maybe Gentile version of Jerry Seinfeld. My
Okay.
comedy's clean, it's observational, it's pretty simple, everyday stuff. And he's from Queens, and I thought, oh, Queens is outside New
Right.
York, Orange County's outside LA. I could kind of simulate that and get a sitcom just about my life, and it turns out it's a lot harder than that.
Yeah. So, and I apologize. You told me you've been doing comedy how long?
25, quarter of a century now. Yeah,
25 years.
yeah, yeah, it sounds crazy.
Do you have a favorite show and a least favorite show?
In my stand-up comedy career.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's a great question. My most favorite happened recently when I got to open for David Spade in at Phoenix, Arizona, where he's from, at the Celebrity Theater, which is the location of a lot of comedy specials by George Carlin, by Louis C.K., by Nate Bargatze. A lot of comedy specials are shot there. It's in the round, and I got to open the show there for David Spade, and just coming out to that audience was incredible. And then I've opened for Nick Swardson too at some theaters in San Francisco and Minnesota, and those are a couple of the greatest nights of my life, just because the crowd's with you on every word, every syllable. Even though they're theaters, they're with you on every thought, every subtle nuance, all that stuff. And normally it takes a while to get a crowd, that dialed in. Um, but when they're
I'm a huge David Spade fan. Was it, were you able to talk to him and everything? How was that?
Yeah, I've opened for him a few times now over the years. As we came out of COVID, I was down in Orange County, and somebody canceled on him down in San Diego, so it was like a last minute fill in, and kind of hit it off. And yeah, he's a great individual. He's comic, human being, all that stuff. He's just been so big for so long that he's known by fans in so many different categories, whether they know him from SNL or the movies or the podcast or the
Right.
stand up. Yeah.
Um,
Or his shows on mainstream traditional shows, Just Shoot Me or Rules of Engagement.
oh my
um
gosh, yes. Yeah, I love both those.
Eight Simple Rules, you
We
feel.
you hit a couple of your favorites. Do you have like a least favorite where things
Oh, of shows. Yeah, I think anytime it's like a weird gig that you've probably done these too, where the person really didn't plan accordingly. I had like a holiday show, a holiday company party up top, the Riot House, which is the Hyatt next to the Comedy Store. That was a friend of a friend that I booked, and they just were not. It was late. It was like late on a Friday or Saturday at like 9 p.m. after they'd been drinking, and there wasn't we were working on a spotlight earlier here. There wasn't a spotlight, there wasn't a stage. You were just kind of doing comedy in an area, and it was just such a nightmare. And it's only 10 minutes and you get paid nicely, and you're just like, keep smiling, act like nothing's wrong, because they don't necessarily know nothing's wrong, you know so you just kind of keep smiling, keep getting through it. Maybe it's some commentary between the jokes, and then eventually the sound went out, and so I just looked like a maniac standing on the side of the room yelling at people because there was no microphone or anything. So it's just like, oh, you guys, man. Um, and the problem too is when the audience doesn't get it. When an audience gets that it's a bad show or whatever, that's fine. Everybody's on board.
right?
But when they're looking at you like you're the problem, and I'm like, no, 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 I was not set up for success here.
Not set up for success. That's a good line.
Yeah.
Um, I want to take a second and mention Francis Di Lorenzo.
Yes. Yeah. Frances is fantastic. I knew her from South Orange County. Right when I started, she was already headlining, and just a legend. She's been decades in on comedy, joke writer, personality, persona, on stage, off. Very, very funny, very funny. And
Well,
she was
and
doing. Yeah, go ahead.
she's the one that sent out. I had Francis on the show,
Yeah.
and I think it was Kristen McHugh got me in touch with Francis. And I was so nervous because Francis, like you said, almost comedy legend. And I just have nothing but the utmost respect. And I was really nervous, and we've gotten to be, somewhat friends now. We text each other and everything. And she sent me a list of all these comedians, and hence you ended up there.
I'll
And
take it.
I want to take a second and say thank you to her. And like I said, I was just curious your relationship. Do you do cruise ships? Have you ever done a cruise ship?
Yeah, it's funny in comedy. You try these things, and some things you're trying work, and then some things don't. And some success you get is from just side things. And I was recommended to a guy who books cruise ships, and I went to Vegas and auditioned. And I've done my share of cruise ships now. I'm on and off over the last 5 years, I guess, maybe 7 years. And they can be tricky, they can be fun. It's a little bit of everything with a cruise ship.
Out of because again, you've played all these places and done all this stuff. Do you have a favorite place? Like, and there's oodles of questions I have about
Yeah,
Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
yeah.
What in the hell is going? In other words, I have done what 250 or more of these,
Yeah.
and I now can cross Wyoming off the list.
Oh, sweet, perfect.
We got that one.
Yeah, it's a blue
I
dot
mean,
and
I've done China, I've done all over the United States, Canada, everywhere, but now I got Wyoming knocked off the list.
oh, nice. No, that's
Never
great.
thought I'd get Wyoming.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my sister
What?
moved up here
What?
about 50.
What?
Yeah,
What? Your? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Your sister.
yeah. She moved up here about 15, 20 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, actually. And I've just been coming up every summer, spend a week or two with her and her husband and kids. And, you know,
Nice break from break.
oh,
Nice break. Yeah, I bet.
perfect break, and
Yeah.
just the perfect time of year, and great little town. And then they live outside of town like everybody else. You can ride your bike, you can jump in a lake, you can jump in a river. It's all pure water, snow drift.
Wow.
Uh,
I
it's
love it.
I don't know how much longer we have left, but I mean, like yesterday, they have a dog here,
Yeah.
was barking, and I was like, "What are you barking at?" And I left the front door open, and I look, and there's a moose and its two babies
Yeah.
right there at the doorstep, about to come into our house, and I was like, "Oh, I have no idea what to do." So I closed the door. I locked it, thinking the moose is gonna like figure it out, like a bear would or something,
Yeah.
but I mean, it can trample you. A moose can trample you and your dog, but which I was told afterwards. But anyway, it's you see it all. There's bears. I've seen a bear up here. Obviously, plenty of deer. And
No,
I
we
haven't.
had a cabin. We had a cabin up in I live in Pennsylvania, and we had a cabin, and we had electricity, but there was no phone, and everything you're talking about, deer. My dad shot a turkey on Thanksgiving morning one time at the feeder.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah, no. So I mean, I know when we go to the cabin, it was just special time.
Yeah, you spend time with yourself, which can be scary and weird. But
Yeah, I don't want to do too much of that.
yeah, 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 yeah. I don't want to get too
Too
much.
much self-inflict. Yeah, I can't do it. Um, I just want to make sure, as far as what you have coming up, and that we cover everything that you want to tell the people, and then we'll get on to your comedy minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. I'll be with Frank Caliendo, the great impressionist. I'll
Oh
be
my
with him.
gosh,
Yeah, I'll be with him
that's a
next week.
wonderful show.
He's amazing. It's an
Wow.
amazing show. If you're out there listening, you got to see Frank at some point. I mean, you haven't seen a show like this. The impressions, the back and forth. He's cutting to people you grew up with, people that whether they're in politics, whether they're entertainer. You got the Robin Williams, you got the Robert De Niro, you've got the guy from Taken, Liam Neeson, who's in these new movies. He's got John Gruden, and he draws from 20, 30 people, and he's zigzagging back and forth with these impressions for an hour, and it's fresh, it's fun, it's funny, clean show.
He was
He
on.
makes
He
fun.
was on. He was on Fox.
Yeah. Oh, was he?
Fox NFL show.
Yes. NFL Fox Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. I loved him.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he knows all those guys. He's going to Tampa next month. He'll see John Gruden probably, who lives down there.
Okay, so when is that show and where is that show?
That'll be next Friday and Saturday. Let's see. That's next Friday and Saturday. That will be the uh the 22nd and 23rd
Okay.
of of August.
August. Okay.
August 22nd, 23rd, Desert Ridge Improv in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
North Phoenix on Tatum Boulevard, two shows.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the following next couple of days, May 24th, May 27th, I'll be with Nick Swartzen at the Hollywood Improv.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Pretty great. Yeah. Pretty fun.
Cool.
Pretty fun. So, yeah, looking
Well,
forward to that. Love working with those guys. Those two started together back in the Midwest. One is from Milwaukee and one is from Minnesota.
okay.
And they used to run together in Chicago a little bit, and they came up. And but I'll be working with them separately, but big fans of both of them, of course.
Well, one last quick question, and I'm just curious, and I could be wrong. Do you Have you looked for a comedy club there in Jackson Hole, Wyoming?
There's some venues that they could do.
That's what I wondered. I wondered if were there and said, hey, what's this? You might have to get down and do a couple. There's an open mic down here. I want to run down to.
Man, I'll tell you, that'd be a great call. I don't think there's anything here. I mean, sometimes you want to get away from that when you're on vacation,
No, I know.
but at the same time, it's like if there is a room, why not? Why not?
That's what I'm curious about. That's what I'm wondering.
So I'll look into it, but they
Well,
definitely could
and just
do a
keep me
monthly.
posted. Just
Yeah,
keep me posted.
yeah. They definitely could do like a monthly. I knew they do like a monthly in Salt Lake or in Park City or something in Sun Valley,
Okay.
towns.
Well, if
But
it's not too long a drive, and maybe take your sis out and say, "Here, watch me go to work."
yeah, right.
It's sleigh.
Hopefully, I still have a ride home afterwards.
Well, I don't know what else to say other than we got your comedy minute. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll do Comedy Minute. Let's
Tell
see.
everybody, tell everybody your name and what you
Sure.
got going.
Sure. Well, I'm Patrick Keane, and you can find me at Keane of Comedy, Keane, like the band from England, Keane, Keane of Comedy on all social media platforms.
I'll put up all the links to everything you
Sure.
have going.
Oh, great. I do a podcast called Keane on Things. Pretty
Okay.
funny, clever take on words. And then yeah, my comedy minute. I guess the funniest introduction I've ever had when I've been brought up at a show was a friend of mine, David Huntsberger, very funny comedian, very good friend.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, great guy out of Colorado.
Right.
He was living in where was he living? I think he was living in Austin, Texas at the time. And we did some shows together in New York, and he said he was going to move to LA. And I lived in LA at the time. I said, "Hey, why don't you let me know when you come out? I'll get you set up in LA because it'll be helpful if you have little help coming into a
Sure.
crazy
Sure.
town." So that happened. That conversation took place in '08 in about May or June, and in July my father passed away, and suddenly, so I was kind of out of commission,
I
for
was gonna
about a
say, are
month.
you sure this is a comedy minute?
Yeah, yeah. He passed away. So Huntsberger is introducing me
Sit
one
back,
time.
kids. Gather around,
Yeah,
kids. It's
gather
good.
around.
We're
He
coming up on the comedy.
here's the laughter part. So David Huntsberger is on stage introducing me, telling the audience this story, and he says, because Huntsberger came out to California and he reached out, and I forgot to get back to him, and he said, I'm out here, but I'm going through this grieving period with my father passing, so I didn't respond for a couple months, and I finally did. I finally said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, I've been out of touch. My dad passed away, a couple months ago, and I'm just kind of getting back on my feet." So Huntsberger tells that story in front of a crowd at an audience, and he tells a long story, just longer than I've just told you, and the place is dead quiet. And he said, and so the whole time, Patrick Keane's not getting back to me. I think he's, kind of a typical LA son of a bitch. But it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that he wasn't getting back to me because his dad died. Dead silence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Patrick Keane. And the crowd is so confused, and I'm all, Huntsberger, that's the best introduction I've ever gotten in comedy.
I'm confused, Patrick. I'm confused. I'm confused, Patrick.
All
I,
right, no, I was confused too.
I'm lost because look. Let's be honest. Here I am laughing. Your dad died.
Yeah, he did.
What a great way to start a comedy show.
Yeah, yeah, totally. That's what he was, and he was doing, and the crowd was silent. And I'm like, Dave, you can't introduce someone like that, man. You can't.
Can I ask how it went?
The show was great because we all acknowledged the situation. I just joked about the introduction for the whole set. I was
Okay.
like, yeah, and we talked about it, and I was like, Dave, and you have to broach the subject. It's the elephant in the room. My goodness.
Yeah, yeah. That was great, Patrick.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. So he'd be a good guest for your show too. But yeah,
Okay. Well,
and
you
as
talk
comics,
him into it, and I'll have him. Okay.
we'll do,
All
brother.
right. Well, thank you. And listen, before we go, promise me that you'll look around there, maybe up there in Jacksonville, find a comedy club, take the sis out, have
Yeah,
some.
we'll do, man. We'll do. Yeah, I'll find a venue, even if I have to get from Town Square.